Alright you guys, I thought we would switch it up and I'm going to do my first anti-haul. If you're not familiar with an anti-haul, I can't remember who it was who started it. Was it Kimberly Clark? Don't quote me on that. I will figure it out and link them down below because I think this is a cool idea. But what it basically is I'm going to talk about the shit I'm not going to buy because I'm not interested for various reasons. So let's get into it. So holidays are right around us, like the fall season is just kind of past now. It's snowing outside, that's what I'm saying, it's past. Wah. But there have been a lot of new releases recently. And where I'm at, especially with palettes, eyeshadow palettes, like I have so much makeup, it's embarrassing. And for me to actually purchase something else, it has to wow me. It has to have something that's different about it, whether it be something innovative about the packaging, the way it's laid out, the formula, a brand I want to try, I don't know. Something has to be speaking to me in some form. I'm also not someone who kind of falls into like the hype trap. I usually try to make sure it's going to either kind of replace something maybe, or it's going to be something to add to my collection that I'm actually going to use. Granted, that doesn't always happen, of course, but there are a lot of reasons why I don't buy shit, essentially. So if you like to see the shit that I'm not going to buy this season, please keep watching. So the first thing is the new Morphe holiday collection. I really like their new packaging and their 3502 palette. I will insert a picture of them here so you can see. Maybe I'll hang off a little bit off screen so I can keep the picture up. The Morphe 3502 in particular is just, people are freaking out about it and saying, oh my god, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, it's 5 shades. You get 35 shades, but like, they're all duplicates of each other. And you guys know I've talked about this before. That drives me bananas. Like, I hate that so much. The thing is like, Morphe is really affordably priced and I really do like their formula. So here's my thinking. If I could get this palette in store and it was like a 5-pan palette, I would pay the $21, whatever it is. I would pay that. I'd be willing to do that. But it's not. It's 35 shades. It's big. It's a bulky palette. Like, and it's 5 shades. So, I don't know. Something about it is just like throwing me off. Never in my entire life have I ever looked at a 5-pan palette and thought, I like this so much, I'm going to buy 5 of them right now. So, or 7 of them right now. So, I'm just going to skip it, you guys. Like, I feel like all the tutorials look the same because it's the same 5 shades. I'm just so, I wish Morphe wouldn't do that. Like, I love the idea that they have 35 shades in a palette. I think that's so cool because if you do the math, like they're like -6 pennies per shadow, but they're all the same. Not all the same, you know what I mean? I'm being dramatic, of course, but they do that a lot. They are like the biggest offender of that. So skipping, no. Number 2 is the Fenty Galaxy collection. I'm not really buying anything from that collection. It looks pretty enough. I think the one thing that kind of drew my eye the most was her Galaxy eyeshadow palette. But from what I saw, it was just so similar to, you know, the Urban Decay Moon Dust palette and the Too Faced Glitter Eyes eyeshadow palette, like the pressed kind of glitter pigments. And I think they're really, really beautiful, but I don't use them. I don't find myself reaching for them ever. So I'm not going to spend $60 for another eyeshadow palette I'm not going to use. I'm just not going to do it. Why would I do that? Next are the Natasha Denona Sunset palette and Lila palette. Natasha Denona shadows are really pretty. Don't get me wrong. The eyeshadows, however, are quite expensive. And I just I don't know. I used to be all about that life, but same thing, I didn't find myself using it all that often. I feel like when I was using it, it was just like, I better use this because I paid like $900 for it. You know what I mean? So I'm done with that. Her 5 pans are nice if you see anything that kind of draws your eye because they are more affordable. You get 5 eyeshadows and it's $50, so it's $10 a shadow. That's decent because her quality is really good as long as all of the shadows in the palette are ones that you're going to use quite frequently. So those maybe. There's some new cool ones for the holiday collections, but other than that, Jeffree Star Family Collection. I've not really liked much from the brand. I don't like the highlighters. There's one that's okay. I can't remember what it was, but everything else is kind of like chunky a little bit, kind of falls on your face. I just don't have the skin type for it. They don't look good on me. I don't love the colors. The liquid lipsticks, I don't know. I've worn them to work quite a few times, and so many people rave about their formula, and I just don't love it. So, and a bunch of other reasons, you know, that everyone always talks about, and I just like, I don't know, I'm just over it. Next is the Laura Lee Cat's Pajamas palette. Now, part of me was like, oh, I don't really want to say anything because she's a YouTuber and I think it's badass and people come out with their own makeup lines. However, you know, if you're making yourself into a brand name and selling products, I feel like, you know, people should be allowed to review them and critique them, and here are my thoughts. First of all, the packaging is weird. It's called Cat's Pajamas, but it's glittery on the outside, and then the inside is roses, and the mirror is halfway covered up with roses, and the colors are, they're just kind of boring. I don't know. It doesn't speak to me, just like what I was talking about before. They're all really neutral. You have like neutral browns on the top. I'll show a picture here. Neutral browns on the top, and then like purpley mauve shades, all really similar. I feel like you can really just get two looks with this palette. Just nothing super exciting, to be totally honest. I'm just not here for it. I'm curious to see what she comes out with in the future. I think that's really cool, but I don't know, I just expected a little bit more, I guess. Something a little bit different, especially coming from a blogger, a YouTuber. You know, when you get to create your own line, it's like you've played with everything. You know, like the coolest of the cool makeup. So like, what are you adding? You know, and I don't know if it's there yet. So hopefully in the future, but I'm passing on this one. Next is pretty much anything Storybook Cosmetics. I see this stuff all over the place and I just don't get it. Maybe it's just my age bracket. I'm just not into Disney princesses. I don't care about them. Mean Girls is an okay movie. I don't need a burn book palette. I'm just like so bored by it, and the brushes that look like roses, that's so impractical to me. Like, I just don't like that. I don't know, like it is, I just feel nothing in my lady bits. Just, it's a ghost town when I think about it. It's just, I'm not, nope. This next one's kind of the same every year. It's the Tarte and the Too Faced holiday collections. I love both brands. I think they have awesome releases all the time, but the holiday collections I just don't like. Just a lot of shades of brown. And I feel like holiday collections, you know, for example, the Anastasia Prism palette, that's their holiday release. That's like fun, you know? Like, I want something fun, not like a big giant makeup kit. You know, if you were to talk to my 19-year-old self, you know, those kits at Ulta for like $19.99, you see them in the ad, like, I loved that shit. Now, I'm not into it. I don't want it. I'm not here for it. Speaking of Tarte, the Tartelette Toasted palette. I'm seeing so many people just raving about this palette, and I'm sure it's nice. I really like the formula of Tarte shadows, I do. But the level of like excitement, I feel like is a little bit above like where it should be. It's a neutral palette, you know, like a warm neutral palette. And I know, I hate when people say, I don't need another warm neutral palette. I get it. I still like buying neutral palettes sometimes, but there's nothing really that speaks to me. I just feel like there have been so many recently that I love. I'm just not here for it. I mean, I'd love to go on a Bora Bora trip with Tarte, but that's all I'm saying. Basically anything Kylie. I have been so disappointed with her makeup. Her liquid lipsticks, I feel like at first I really liked because she had some cool nudes and stuff like that. But man, no. Like, it's just not good for the price. And like the hassle of the shopping experience. Like, maybe if you're someone who gets like excited and pumped up for that, I, however, am not that person. I'm like, this is annoying. I have to set an alarm on my phone to buy something. Go f*** yourself. And last but not least is the Kat Von D Saints and Sinners palette. I'll insert it here. I've never purchased a Kat Von D eyeshadow palette before. I've swatched them in store a lot. I think the formula feels nice and stuff like that, but I don't know, I've never bit the bullet, to be totally honest. And this one is just massive. Like, you know, there's the Saint side, which is like more neutrally kind of colors that are more wearable, and the Sinners side, which is a little bit more like brighter colors. There's something about that, I don't know why, because it has that kind of different factor that normally I'd be into, but something about it I'm just not into. Like, it's just too big. I think because I have so much and storage is always an issue. If it's a massive item like that, it better be just like so worth the hassle. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked my list. I tried to not like play it safe and put like small indie brands and things nobody cares about in there, so hopefully this was interesting for you guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think about anti-hauls, because I'd be happy to do them from time to time, like when there's some new releases that have come out that are hyped or whatever, maybe overly hyped. Maybe we'll talk about that. So yeah, let me know if you want me to do more of these. Let me know what you think. Don't be mad at me if I talked about stuff that you love. This is just my opinion, you know what I mean? We all like different things, as we all know. And it's our own money, and we can spend it on the shit that we want to spend it on. So there. I want to know what you guys aren't buying. I want to know what you guys think is overhyped. So leave me a comment. Subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber already. I would love to have you give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!